Yo, 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 it's your boy Cool Blue back at it again with another video here on the channel. Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in today. Today is April 12th, 2021, and the title of the episode is The Trade Deadline is Here. Now, we we've talked a little bit about the trade deadline on the channel in some episodes prior to today, and we haven't dived too much into it. We kind of just talked about who we could see moving on the roster, who we could see being up for trades. We did see Ghost go on the waivers. We saw the team releasing a statement about Nolan Patrick being for sale, and but today is the trade deadline, and the trade deadline ended at 3:00. I'm not too sure if that's like Eastern Standard Time, Pacific or Central, but to be honest with you, we didn't know where the Flyers were going to head as far as direction with the team coming up to the deadline. It seems like they're not making any big moves. That doesn't really surprise me, considering where we are in the standings, where we are with the season, how the season has gone. I did think that they would maybe try to bring in some people, but they unloaded Gustafsson to Montreal. They unloaded Michael Raffl to the Washington Capitals. But as far as return, I'm seeing reports that Montreal is taking half of the Gustafsson contract, which is nice. Get some money off of our books, and I think a second round pick, I believe, for Michael Raffl. Let's see here the details. Yeah. I mean, the Michael Raffl thing, it's so weird. I just talked to one of my friends about Michael Raffl being moved, and to be honest with you, it doesn't surprise me that we moved him. And I just said before the Buffalo game on Sunday that I was ready to part ways with him. Now, he's been on the team for quite a long time. He's been on the team, I think, since like 2013, something like that. We've had a lot of highlighted moments with Michael Raffl. Now, they weren't like consistent, but we had some good moments with Michael Raffl, and I do wish him all the best of luck. Nothing personal against the guy as a player. I don't think he ever really hurt the team. I just don't think he really improved the team that much. I always said that if Michael Raffl could get, I think he averaged like 8 to 10 goals a year. And I always said if he could get to like 13 to 15 goals a year, he would be perfect for any team in the National Hockey League. I'm surprised we stuck with him as long as we did. Now, he was really good on the penalty kill. I will give him that. He's a guy that you could put out there and you could depend on him blocking shots, laying down in front of shots, and killing off penalties. And I will say, like, in the younger part of his career with the Flyers, he was a little bit more physical on the puck. But the last few seasons, he's battled injuries, and that kind of comes with the territory when you're being the guy to go out there and give the rough play to the opponents every night. So it sucks that he went to a division rival. He's going to the Washington Capitals. I do not want to see the Capitals win another Stanley Cup, but like I said, best wishes to Michael Raffl and his new journey in the NHL, not on the Philadelphia Flyers. It was an interesting ride when you were here, and best wishes. But Gustafsson, I could care less about him leaving. I feel like the entire city of Philadelphia isn't going to lose sleep over Gustafsson not being on the team anymore. He did not work out the way that people anticipated or the way that people thought that he would. Um, he's a player that I think he did more harm than good on the team. And when I say that, I mean he didn't really bring much to the table. Uh, but it is what it is. He's going to Montreal Canadiens, and like I said, I don't have anything against him as far as a player. I'm just not a fan of him, and I'm glad to see him moving off our roster. But I guess the only big news in the signings today was that we signed Scott Laughton to a 5-year deal. Excuse me, a 5-year deal worth $15 million. So it hits the cap at $3 million. Scott Laughton's only 26. He plays center. This was a move that I, I saw a poll on Twitter, and it asked how you felt about the Gustafsson, or not the Gustafsson. It asked how you felt about the Scott Laughton deal, and I really just I'm indecisive about it. Like, I don't think it's too much. I don't think we overpaid him. Uh, but I also think that in the last 2 years he's proven that he's a good fit for this city. Um, it is kind of sad to see him and Raffl splitting up. I know they're good friends. They've been on the team. Both have been on the team for a long time. But yeah, I don't think we overpaid Scott Laughton, and I think Scott Laughton knows his role on the team, and I think he's a role player. Um, he's a guy that does produce on the penalty kill. He's a good player on the penalty kill. So, uh, I'm happy about it. But, the thing about Scott Laughton is the way I see it is if we would have gotten rid of him, right, and we would have traded him away, like, I don't think we would have got somebody on the return that would have been that would have had more value than him. Meaning, like, if we got a defenseman, I don't think that any defenseman we would have got in return for just Scott Laughton would have outweighed what Laughton brings to the team. So, in that regard, I think that's why it's a good signing for Scott Laughton. But to be honest with you, like, I just don't know. I mean, maybe. So there's two ways to look at it. Do other teams not want our players because they don't see any value in our players on their team? Like, especially if they're trying to make a cup run because they're already they're most likely going to make the playoffs, or is the COVID a big factor this year? Does our front office think that our team is being affected by COVID so much that we don't want to give up our players, and maybe next year we'll have a bigger turnaround? We'll have a year like we did last year before the pandemic. I mean, these are all things to consider, and these are all things to think about. But as of right now, they didn't really do much. You know what I mean? They really didn't. So, like I said, I'm not totally surprised. And at the same time, like it's playing with my emotions because I can't say I'm totally disappointed either, because I'm not. I'm not disappointed because there are some guys on the team that I do think in a regular season, when you have regular practices and morning skates and things like that, you would see a better result. And we've seen that out of certain players. So has COVID affected us? Yes. Do I think that's a poor excuse? I do. But we do have some young guys on the roster. It's not clicking. And when things aren't clicking, that's what you do. You need repetition in practice. You need to switch up the lines in practice. And you need to see how those lines are going to work in different situations. We didn't have those opportunities as much as we'd like this year due to COVID-19. So maybe the front office is really taking that into consideration, and that's why we haven't seen any big moves. But the other thing is, like, if that is the case, and this time next year we're talking, and I'm just like, man, I'm really glad we didn't give up on these guys because look how good they are. I will give the front office full props and full respect in the fact that they didn't want to just go out there and spend money on people and try to fix a broken season, because we've seen that happen so many times in the past, and it has never worked. So I do respect Chuck Fletcher in that regard, and I don't think Chuck Fletcher is the problem. I don't think the coach is the problem. So yeah, that's where we're on the standings. Or I'm sorry, that's where we are in the signings and the tradings for the trade deadline. Now let's move over and let's talk about what happened this weekend. So this weekend we have 3 games, okay, in a very short period of time. And let's see. We go up against the New York Islanders on Thursday. We lose in a shootout, 3-2. We gain a point. All right, that's good. Now it's time for Boston. Now, we had just played Boston 2 times, and we split the 2 games. So here we are against Boston. We go up, and we beat Boston. We beat them 3-2. We're only 2 points back out of potentially tying Boston for the last playoff spot. And we have a game. Now, we look good against Boston. I will be honest with you. I thought we did look good. It wasn't a perfect game, but we got the job done. We let Boston climb back into that game. But Brian Elliott was in net, and, we got the job done. For the first time, I felt like we really capitalized on our scoring chances when we had them. Boston outshot us by 11 shots, but we still got the win. And the thing about that game was that game felt like, okay, now we beat Boston twice. In 3 matchups, we beat them twice. This gave me a lot of hope. And I'm like, oh, we got Buffalo tomorrow. If we win tomorrow, like we're going to be tied with Boston. This is what we wanted. Okay? This is a good scenario to be in. And then on Sunday, we get into the Buffalo game, and I'll be honest with you. I was watching the game, and I was watching it with very, very good confidence. And we go up 2-0, which never happens for us. We rarely ever go up 2-0, maybe 1-0 if we're lucky. We go up 2-0, and then the Buffalo Sabres start creeping back in the second period, and they tie it 2-2. Now I'm thinking to myself, I don't like this. I don't like this at all. And then we take the lead in the third period. It's 3-2. I'm like, all right, we can do this. We can do this. Next thing you know, Buffalo scores. Now, it was an icing on the ice. Claude Giroux threw an icing down the ice, and it gets called. And it just seemed like our entire team, and we put together a good game, I thought. We had 43 shots on net. Carter Hart did have some big saves. 3-2, and there's about 5 minutes left in the game, and there's an icing, and I'm just thinking to myself, okay, it's all right, we got it. But it just seemed like as soon as the icing was called, as soon as the ref blew the whistle and called it icing, it seemed like everyone on our team was like, oh, icing. There's only a couple of seconds left in the game. It's over. We won. We're going to win this face-off. Clock's going to run out. Buzzer's going to sound. And we won the game. We're going to be tied with Boston for a playoff spot. But no, that did not happen. We lose the face-off. The Buffalo Sabres get the puck, and they put it in the net. It's 3-3. Next thing you know, like 10 seconds later, after we drop the puck again, they go down, they get into the zone, they win a battle on the boards, they put the puck out front, they shoot it on net, it goes in. Holy shit, it's 4-3. Next thing you know, now we're in a scramble. Oh, the game wasn't over? I thought there was only 2 seconds left on the clock. No, there was 5 minutes. Now we pull the goalie. There's 2 minutes left in the game. We can't generate many shots on net with an extra attacker in their zone. And we're in their zone for quite a bit. Buffalo scores an open net. And just the way that they played during the last 5 minutes of that game summed up the entire season. It told you everything you need to know about the mentality in that locker room, the mentality for the year, like where we are as a team right now. And I'm just like, wow. Wow, guys. That is the definition of giving up on a game. You thought you had the game won, and Buffalo is laughing in the locker room. They're laughing in your faces because they knew the game wasn't over. They knew you had given up. They knew you thought you won the game, and they proved you wrong. And guess what? They might have ruined your season. I mean, it was so bad. I was off Twitter during the game yesterday because I just didn't want to tweet during the game because I was just watching it. I was a little nervous about the game. In the third period, I would say. Like I said, in the beginning, I felt very confident. I'm like, 2-0. They're looking good. They just beat Boston. They're feeling really well about themselves, their play. And they, instead of playing for 60 minutes, they played for 55 minutes. At 55 minutes, they were like, we won. But guess what? We didn't because we let our guard down. We thought we won. Buffalo knew it. They capitalized on. I mean, that's just poor leadership. That's poor team effort. It's every word in the book. It can't happen. It can't happen when you're fighting for your season, when you're fighting for a playoff spot, and you need every point you can get because you're done playing Boston for the year, and they're the team that you need to catch. They're the only team that you can catch. You need to make up every single game and grab every single point that you can get because you're and Boston has games on us. They have like 2 games in hand. You're out of control as far as your fate. Like your fate is in Boston hand and you need them to lose. And to be honest with you, they're a good team. So they're not losing. So I don't put all my eggs in one basket, and that's putting all your eggs in one basket as being like, oh yeah, let's slack off in the last 5 minutes against this Buffalo Sabres team, and let's just hope that Boston can lose. It doesn't work like that. So it's very frustrating. I think the season could be over. We are technically not out of a playoff spot yet. Like, we're down 4 points. Boston still has a 4-point lead on us. And there are a lot of I don't want to say a lot of games because there's not a lot of games. So we got 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We get 9 plus 6. We got 15 games left. We have a potential of 30 points. We have 44 points on the season as of today. Boston has 48. 30 points. So the most we can possibly get is 74 points. Once the 4th seed hits 74 points, it's completely over as of right now. And that's if we won every single game. Now, looking at the schedule, we are off today. We play Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday this week. We have the Capitals. We have Pittsburgh. We have the Capitals. And then we have the Islanders. Now, I believe that's the last of the Islanders matchups. Let me just double check here. Yep, that's the last of the Islanders. We had the 2 this month, and we have 2 next month against the Capitals. We still got 4 against the Capitals. I think this is the last of the Pittsburgh, too. No, I lied. We have 3 more Pittsburgh games. The Rangers, These two games coming up against the Rangers are the last two of the Rangers. But we play, out of the 15 games, we play the Devils 5 times. 5 times against the Devils. Now, that's just crazy, man. Just crazy. And see, the other thing is the New York Rangers are tied with us in the standings. So we have to win these games. Like, we can't give New York 4 points when we're tied with them. These are must-win games. And when you play against the Devils, that 5 times, that's potentially 10 points in the standings. If the Devils won all 5 games against us, they would be tied with us in the standings. And that doesn't include their other games that they have to play. That's how crazy it is. The only team that is completely out of the playoff race is Buffalo. They have 26 points with probably 15, 16, and 17 games left, just like us. New Jersey is most likely out of the playoffs. They would probably have to win every single game. We, along with New York and Boston, we were... All right, let me correct that. Us and New York Rangers are flirting with the 5th and 6th seed because we're both 44 points. Boston is probably the only team that could lose a playoff spot, in my opinion. I think Pittsburgh is out of reach for at least us and New York Rangers. Boston potentially could catch up to Pittsburgh. It would be tough. They are 8 points behind Pittsburgh. And then you have the New York Islanders and the Washington Capitals, both with 58 points. I don't think anyone can catch them besides Pittsburgh because they're only 2 points behind them. But that's where we're at in the standings. That's where we're at in the season. Just a quick recap. We didn't really do much today. We got rid of Gustafsson. We got rid of Michael Raffl. We acquired Scott Laughton for another 5 years. And yeah, that's where we're at. That's where we're at. But if you like what you see, hit the thumbs up button. If you haven't already, turn on that bell for notifications. You'll be notified anytime I do a live stream or post a video up on the channel. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. All the love and support is greatly appreciated. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next video. Go Flyers.